490 BC. The plain of Marathon, 26 miles from Athens. A Persian invasion force, somewhere between 25,000 and 100,000 men, depending on which ancient source you trust, has landed on this narrow coastal plain. Their goal is simple: march on Athens, end Greek resistance to Persian expansion once and for all. Standing between them and the city, roughly 10,000 Athenian hoplites, reinforced by a small force from Plataea. Outnumbered, possibly by more than 4 to 1. The Athenians have one advantage the Persians don't expect: the terrain itself. The Athenian commander Miltiades makes a decision that will define this battle. He thins his center dramatically, dangerously thin, while reinforcing both flanks with extra depth. It's a gamble. If the Persian center holds even for a few minutes, the thin Athenian middle could collapse entirely. But Miltiades is betting on something specific. The Persian army's strongest troops, their elite infantry, are massed in the center, facing the weakest part of the Greek line. Their weaker levied troops are on the flanks, facing the strongest part of the Greek line. At dawn, the Athenian line begins to advance. Not at a walk, at a run. The first time in recorded history, a heavy infantry force charges at speed across open ground, minimizing the time spent under Persian archery fire. The armies collide. Exactly as Miltiades predicted, the Athenian center buckles under pressure from Persia's elite infantry. It begins to fall back, dangerously, but in controlled retreat, not collapse. On both flanks, the story is completely different. The reinforced Athenian wings smash through the weaker Persian levies facing them. The Persian flanks break and scatter, and now the trap closes. Instead of chasing the fleeing Persian flanks, the victorious Athenian wings turn inward. They wheel toward the center, toward the Persian elite troops who are still pushing forward, still believing they're winning. The Persian center, which moments ago thought it had broken the Greek line, suddenly finds Athenian hoplites attacking from both sides simultaneously. Encirclement, the single most difficult maneuver to execute in ancient warfare, and the Athenians have just pulled it off with citizen soldiers, not professional troops. Panic spreads through the Persian ranks. What began as an advance becomes a rout. Thousands of Persian soldiers break formation entirely, running for the ships. By the time the fighting ends, the numbers tell an almost unbelievable story. Herodotus records roughly 6,400 Persian dead. Athenian losses, 192. Whatever the exact figures, the scale of the Athenian victory reshapes how the ancient world understands what's possible in warfare. A numerically inferior citizen army, using terrain, timing, and a calculated tactical gamble, has stopped the largest empire on Earth in its tracks. Legend holds that a runner named Phidippides raced the 26 miles back to Athens to deliver the news of victory, collapsing after a single word: Nike. Victory. The origin, more than 2,000 years later, of the modern marathon. Marathon doesn't end the Persian wars. Persia will return, larger and angrier, within a decade. But it proves something that will shape the next century of Greek and Western history: that Persia's seemingly limitless power can be stopped. Not through greater numbers, through better tactics, better terrain, and the will to run directly at an empire.